Did you see Robinhood?
I did. I also saw yours, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little bit like I
What?
look at that and I'm like, I don't know, it's worth that. But
Well, I'll say
I've
this
been
about
wrong
Robinhood.
before. They are definitely the first that's
Yeah,
like opened it to the masses like they have.
yeah, they
And
have.
what do they say? You got to be first, or you got to be the first in, or
Yeah,
the
be
first
first, be
out.
smart or cheat.
Yeah, and they were the
So,
first, so oh, that's a hell of a way to pay a fine. Um,
well,
I know that's not how they
oh,
paid the
oh,
fine.
are you saying
They covered
first one
that
through the
more than
wall?
so.
First one, yeah, first one through the wall always gets bloodied, and they
No,
were the first ones to.
I was more going with you with the like you got to be first, you got to cheat, or you got to. Yeah.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah.
What's that from
Well,
Margin Call?
yeah, Margin Call, great movie,
Oh, I love that one.
fantastic, amazing movie.
Hmm.
But yeah, I mean, I thought Robinhood was interesting because they IPO'd. Obviously, the smart money was kind of waiting. I think this is what happened with Robinhood, and I don't know for sure. This is just my theory, and when I say theory, I'm really emphasizing the word
Hmm.
theory on this.
Theory. This is
So
not financial advice or any financial anything.
definitely not. Yeah,
Just for
I'm
the
just a,
record, this is
I'm
no
just an
statement of
alcoholic.
anything.
Yeah, I'm just an alcoholic.
Same here.
No, yeah, cheers. Uh, no, but this is my theory of the Robinhood. They IPO'd. There was a lot of nerves, like a lot of hesitation around going long the stock. Obviously, with everything that's going on, their customer service is terrible. I, personally, I like what Robinhood as a company has done for the country, for
I agree
investing
with
in
you.
general. They changed the game. Their app is insanely easy to use. It's easy. It's so easy to use,
It's
and it makes
ridiculously easy to use,
it's
which
so
I
easy.
like in a way.
Yeah, it's so easy to understand, but it's like but the tough thing is like for me, like buying options on Robinhood is insanely ridiculous. It's really easy to buy an option, but it's
Oh,
really
it is.
hard to look up. Yeah, it's really hard to look up stats on an option,
Mm-hmm.
right? And my thing is, I want to see like when I look at the stats on an option, like I really there's so many things I really want to see. I want to see volume, open
Mm-hmm.
interest. Um, I want to see implied volatility, delta.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I want to see the high and low for the day. But the main thing is like I want to see volume and open interest, right?
Mm-hmm.
And obviously
Volume is
like
so important to me, at least.
right, yeah, and obviously like the bid ask spread obviously is huge too because if it's a wide like if the open
Mm-hmm.
interest is 100,000 and the daily volume is 8,000, but the spread is the spread is let's say it's 65 and 80, it's like whoa, like like hold on one second, like why is
They can have huge spreads, and like I remember
of
like the other
course
day
yeah
I saw one, I was like, oh, that's attractive, and I put an order for it, and it went from I think maybe 5 cents per contract
yeah
to 83.
oh well that was the bid ask.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's generally like what happens. Like, and I've seen that. I see that all the time. Like, that happens all the time with really illiquid contracts.
Yeah,
And Robinhood
because of their
does
model.
not. They don't like on their platform. It's really tough to know if there's liquidity in a contract. Now, maybe I'm not using it to the full extent that I was when I had
Well,
a Robinhood account,
you can
and this
pay
was
extra to have the full extent, but they don't let you.
yeah. Well, yeah, and my thing is like I can trade on TD Ameritrade on
Mm-hmm.
Thinkorswim where I can see the entire option chain. I can see the volume, open interest, all that kind of stuff for a certain contract, and it's laid out in a way that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
And I say this because I work for TD Ameritrade, but at the same time,
Yeah.
no, like Thinkorswim is insanely easy to use, and like and I can see like profitability percentages and all that kind of stuff in
Mm-hmm.
Thinkorswim. Um, and that helps me make a decision. It helps me make a better decision on whether or not I'm going to buy a certain contract, or if I am like, should I spread it off with a
Mm-hmm.
higher strike price, right? So like that's my thing with Robinhood. And so my theory is like, the platform is easy to use. There's a million users, but there's a bunch of risk involved with Robinhood, right? Because the average account size in Robinhood is about $4,500.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you go to other platforms, the average like I don't know what the average account size on TD Ameritrade is, but I think across the board for the other brokerage firms like the E Trade, Schwab, and
Definitely a
TD
lot
Ameritrade,
higher.
yeah, the average is about twice as much. Maybe a little bit less than twice as much as the average on
Really?
Robinhood.
Honestly, I thought it was gonna be higher, like
Yeah, no,
personally.
it's no. I mean, well, think about it. I mean,
Oh
like
yeah, you
most,
definitely do have
like,
like a lot of people like me who keep like
I,
$500 in there.
right. Well, I mean, like, I would say like across the board, I don't know if this is just me making up numbers, but I would say about 60% of all brokerage accounts in the world are under $10,000 or outside
Really?
of Robinhood. Yeah, like most of them are under ten thousand
Yeah, I
dollars,
have
right?
nothing to base any of my thoughts on. It
I
just
don't know.
surprised me.
This is me making up numbers. I could be way
You have a
off,
lot more
right? So,
experience than I do, so I believe
well,
you.
yeah. I mean, this isn't really based on my experience. This is just me, total guess, right?
I could see
But
that.
I
I
would say,
mean,
yeah. I mean, but think about it. It's like 20 because of how many young kids are in the markets now that have, for instance, that
well,
have
think
left
10 years
Robinhood,
ago.
right? But even then, it's like most people don't want to put their money in
Oh yeah.
a brokerage account. They want to put it in some bank account, not like a bank account, but like a brokerage account within their bank,
Hmm.
that a financial advisor is looking over, right?
And even then, it
Or
was like the whole draw of Robinhood was the fact that like because I remember at the beginning, like literally they were brand new before they came out with Robinhood Gold, and then they got rid of
uh,
it. Like definitely not one of the first people, but not one of the like, oh, it's mainstream. I remember my
right.
buddy told me about it, and he was like, "You can trade for free." I'm like, that doesn't make sense.
Yeah, well,
Like,
exactly. And this is the thing about there's a lot of things about Robinhood, but one thing is,
yeah,
yeah, but one thing is like it's like anything else that's free, right?
you're the
Is it
customer.
free to have? Yeah, is it free to have a Facebook account? Of course it is, right? For you and
Mhm.
I, but
Oh no,
if it's
you're the
free for
product
you,
or something.
yeah, if it's free for you, then you're the product. Yeah,
Mhm.
exactly. Exactly what you said. Robinhood is the same thing. If
Mhm.
you opening up a brokerage account and placing trades and routing orders, you think that's free?
No,
And they have to come up with a relationship with a market maker. You think how expensive is that for a brokerage firm, right? So how do they pay for it? Well, if you're not willing to pay 6.95 for a trade, then what do they have to do? They have to
they'll
adapt the
they'll
PFOF model, right?
they'll buy yours at your price and they'll sell them for another cent or something like it. I forget
Well,
exactly what it is. It's something
I
around
mean,
that
so
round.
yeah, I mean, a lot of that, a lot of it, well, brokerage firms just do that all the time, anyways. It's a
Yeah,
brokerage firm. They trade in and out of their own accounts. But
it's something about like
yeah,
orders or something like order flow.
yeah, but order flows like a lot of there's a lot of orders being routed on Robinhood, and there's a
Mhm.
lot of data that is on Robinhood servers, not about like you and your social security number. I mean that's all in there, but that's all secure. Like they can't do anything
Yeah,
with that.
yeah.
So you don't have to worry
I've
about
never
that.
worried about that part.
Yeah, well, yeah, but it's like
Probably should have,
if
but
you yeah, but if you put in a limit order to buy a certain stock, like to buy 2,000 shares of a certain stock at this price, like first of all, like what are you doing? You're affecting the trade size of a certain security, right?
Mhm.
Um, and like and a lot of hedge funds, a lot of market makers, a lot of administrators are willing to pay for that kind of information because it's valuable. I mean, it's especially with
Yeah.
high frequency trading.
Oh yeah.
Um,
And
it's
algo.
yeah. So and that's another thing too. So like because of the likes of Robinhood, because of the likes of this advancement in technology, first of all, like at one point like you can only send a
Oh my
trade
god.
from Chicago to what?
I was just thinking back to the day. Keep going.
Oh yeah. But I'm just saying, at one point you could route a trade. You can only route 12 trades per second from Chicago to New York, right?
Jesus.
And this was like in 2006, so or something like that. I forget. I read a book on high frequency trading, and it was something along those lines. And then all of a sudden, fiber optic was introduced into the infrastructure, and then now you can route, 12 trades per like 1/10 of a millisecond, right, or something. I forget the rate, but
Oh,
and now it's even faster. So the fact that trades are getting routed at insane velocities, money is exchanging hands at exchange velocities, or at insane,
insane.
yeah, exchange velocities. There you go. That's the word.
Well, the
Um,
foreign exchange velocities are ridiculous. So I get what you're
yeah,
saying.
well, but I mean, all I mean, equity
Oh,
markets are more
yeah,
popular than
100%.
foreign, and yeah. So,
But
I mean,
I remember reading about, I was originally a computer science major. I'm now looking at taking my
oh, nice,
GMAT
awesome.
and going for my
Oh,
master's
great,
in
yeah,
finance.
you should.
Because
I took a GMAT.
I've liked finance since I was like 15 and it saved my ass so many times. Um, Understanding what the Fed did at like 17 saved me. Not gonna get into that. But
uh,
I remember hearing about this was actually in one of our classes that before fiber optic, somehow they got, because microwaves are like the fastest thing that we have going. Like 5G is like basically based off those in a
I
way.
honestly didn't know that, but thinking about it, that makes a lot of sense. Wow, you blew my mind.
And they had like they'd have like these towers of microwaves, but they'd have them really close. And they could get information from like a foreign market across the
Uh-huh.
US where they were also listed before the information came through
Oh
everyone
wow.
to the US markets. And they made a ton of money by just knowing it like a couple of minutes beforehand.
Oh yeah. And it's
Like
not even
they,
just like
yeah.
even just knowing it presently, like, I don't know, like,
But imagine if you
like
knew everything about everything that happened in Britain or the Bank of England. I
oh
don't know,
yeah.
like 5 to 10 minutes
In
before anyone in the US.
Oh, of course. But I mean, like, the thing is, the trade size data is always, you can always see the trade size, right?
Hmm.
But you can see the trade size at the current bid or ask.
Hmm.
What would be cool, what I want to know is what is the trade size at this ask price and this bid price, right?
Oh,
That to me would be
that
cool
would
to
be cool.
know,
Like if there's one guy asking at
right?
this, or if there's like he's asking for like 1,000, you know what I mean? Not one
Right.
guy, but
So,
like he's asking for one or
right, yeah,
10 versus a
someone in
hundred
Virginia,
thousand.
yeah, someone in Virginia is trying to sell the stock at this price, and someone in California is trying to buy for this price, right? So, like, that's what I want to know,
Let's see, it
and
messes with my
you know,
mind
wh-
on like Robinhood.
right?
I apologize. Sorry.
Oh no, you're good. And it does mess with their mind, but like Robinhood has a lot of that information
Mhm.
because of all the orders that they route every day. I understand, like, so Robinhood has more accounts than the next three largest broker dealers combined.
Really?
I think that the number has changed since because of everything that's happened. But at one point they
Yeah.
did. At one point they had more new accounts and they had more live active accounts than I think like the next three broker dealers combined.
People got
And
so pissed at
right. No, exactly. And, because of that, it's like, you have that many accounts. It's a lot of retail investors,
yeah.
right? And who are the hedge funds trying to get to hold the bag? The retail guys. How do they do that? Well, if they see all this trade data and all this order flow data, that'll
Mhm.
help a lot. Is it legal? Is it illegal? I have no idea. I don't presume that it is. Otherwise, someone would be in jail. But
I
and I don't want to
bet
cry wolf or anything, but
I bet it's legal, but I bet it's just one of those things because there's a lot of things that are legal that they just haven't gotten around to. You know what I mean? It's
yeah,
like
and
it's
this is the
legal
thing.
because we haven't thought of it, or
Yeah.
it's like it's new because that happens a lot where someone goes, "Oh, no one's written a law about this because the
Hmm.
technology wasn't there 10 years ago or 20 years ago." So, but now it
Well, and the
is.
people that are writing the laws don't know anything about this technology.
That
So,
also drives me
and
nuts,
then,
but
and
I don't
then,
need to get into that.
yeah, and then but then the thing is, when they ask someone for advice, like,
They
who are
don't
they
listen to it.
asking? Well,
Yeah.
they do. The problem is they do listen to it, but who's giving them the advice? The Ken Griffins of the world, right? Who run a huge hedge
Mhm.
fund, or the
Someone who's got their hand in the
yeah.
cookie jar already, and they're like,
Yeah, so like the guys that run these giant hedge funds, the Bobby Axelrods, if you watch Billions, the Bobby
"Oh, I
Axelrods
did.
of this world.
I
Yeah,
watched
great
right up
show.
until he was about to
Yeah,
be taken away, and his wife was like, "I'm done with you," and I'm like,
I love that show. I'm still
"Oh,
watching
I
it. So
do. Oh,
yeah,
I gotta keep watching it. I loved Paul Giamatti in
yeah.
that.
Oh, Paul Giamatti's just, yeah, he's a terrible human being in that show, but
Oh, he is, but
and
he's also like,
yeah,
in a way, he's good, but he's also very tough.
right. No, but
I don't want to give it
uh,
away to a lot of people because
yeah,
one of my buddies
no,
who
yeah,
will probably be on this, he's in real estate in Boston. We've been trying to get this guy to watch this show for like a year because I know he'll love it, but he's like,
yeah.
I'm too busy. I'm like, I
Yeah.
totally
Well,
understand.
I think if you're into finance, you should watch the show. It's a great show.
Oh, it is.
Um, yeah.
I
But the
love
other thing, yeah.
the first
Go on.
season. The first season is
First
great
season's fantastic. Second
because
season's
he's
great too.
oh, it is too. But it's like once you get past that, I start looking at it. I'm like, oh, this isn't the part of finance I like. Like, you know what I mean? I
Yeah, I mean,
still love it. I
there's still a
still
lot
love it.
yeah, there's
Like,
still a lot about finance that you still hear about in the actual show, which is great. It's always
mhm.
going to be there. Obviously, it's a finance show. The finance nerds are the ones watching it, so they
But
have
that
to.
first scene where he's like, oh, he's just writing that to like screw. It's something about like that. Like an analyst comes up and he goes like, Oh, he's just writing that with like to screw with the stock, short it by like this and do this and do this. Oh, where'd you
Oh
go?
yeah.
Yeah. The moment
Oh
I saw
yeah.
that, I'm like, wow, I like
Yeah.
this show.
Yeah, he's super smart. He's with it. Um,
I mean,
so
I
yeah, I
liked
mean
him
that's
since
the
Band of Brothers, so
yeah.
he
Oh
played
yeah,
that
that's a
well.
good show too. Yeah. Oh yeah, Bobby Axelrod and Band of Brothers. I haven't
Hmm.
seen Band of Brothers in forever, but no, yeah. The other thing about Robinhood too is like they make a lot of their money from like any broker dealer does. Every broker dealer makes a lot of money on options and margin.
Hmm.
But who generally tends to lose money on options and margin? Retail investors, and
Yeah.
more specifically, not as well educated retail investors.
They do
And those
make most of
people,
their money off of that with
well,
retail
yeah,
investors.
yeah, and
That's like
but
their
retail
top.
investors, yeah, and but that's where retail investors generally lose money is on options and margin, risky, fast
Hmm.
moving, right?
Oh, I
So
know.
yeah, so yeah, exactly. So that's the reason why Robinhood, like is Robinhood the best place to trade options? Absolutely not. There's no way. There no way.
No.
Um, and
But for
you
people
know,
who only have, when someone goes, when you have to pay an X amount for a trade and you're limited by like, oh, I'm like 17 and I have $500. I got to admit, or maybe not even $500, maybe you have
all right.
$100. I don't know. Like that's what
Well,
I
like
think that helped Robinhood a lot was it opened a lot of people to the
two
option of
options and what?
just
Yeah.
to
Well,
investing in
yeah.
general.
Well, I mean,
And
option volumes are at historic highs. Like it's
oh wow,
insane. It's I mean, stock
I
vol.
didn't know that.
I mean,
I knew
it's
all
I mean,
volumes were at highs, but
option volumes are ridiculously high. So this is my theory on.
Jesus.
So here's my continued theory on Robinhood is they face a lot of scrutiny, so not a lot of institutional investors were high on them. I don't know what happened on Monday. I have no idea what happened on Monday. Why the stock went up. Don't know
Thought
why the
like
stock went up on
I saw it
what.
like flew through the roof.
Yeah. Well, I don't know why it went up on Monday or Tuesday, but I'm pretty sure I know why the stock went up on Wednesday. And it's
Hmm.
because on Wednesday, options trading open up for the Robinhood stock.
Really?
So when all these volumes for the derivatives, yeah, and that's what people don't understand is like the option volumes can really, really affect the price of a stock, right? So if you
Ah.
sold the call option against Robinhood, right, and you sold naked,
Hmm. They
like
basically took that as volume right then and there.
well, but if well, I mean, not stock volume, but if you sold naked, right? Obviously,
Hmm.
that's one. Like if you sold one contract, like under the
Yeah, if you
daily
sell them
volume
naked.
for that's one. Yeah, under the daily volume, that's one contract. That you'll see one contract, and the next day that'll go under open interest.
Hmm.
But if you sold a bunch of naked calls against Robinhood on Wednesday, first of all, Godspeed, and second of all,
Yeah.
like if you did, and the stock started approaching your strike price and then all of a sudden it's in the money, well, now you got to buy to cover your position because you have unlimited loss. So this is what happened, I think, with Tesla back in 2019 was the most heavily short stock in 2019 and in 2020. I don't know about 2019, but in 2020 for sure, Tesla was the most heavily short stock. So
Hmm.
it was the most heavily shorted, and there was insane volumes and uh, in their derivative, right? In their options. So
Hmm.
whenever there is a ridiculous amount of volume in options, like there's a reason why they say there is a magnet at the open interest, like the open interest strike, right? So if all of a sudden the open interest, let's just go to Apple for no, it's not to Apple because their option volumes are off the roof, but let's
I
pick a
got it.
stock that like what?
I got to stop you right there for a second. Hey, everybody. Thank you for listening. Due to editing, we're going to be breaking this interview up into a few segments. So if you enjoyed listening, please stay tuned and have a great day. Bye bye.